Okay, will Liam Kirk ever play a game in the NHL? I believe he will. I don't think he will be a long-term NHL regular, mind, and that's my personal opinion. But I think he's more suited possibly to ECHL, AHL level play. I think that's where his main ceiling will be. He'll probably get a lot of games in the minor professional leagues, as the affiliates of the Tucson Roadrunners, for example. He'll probably get games there eventually. But I can see him getting NHL call-ups. I can see him playing NHL games. Whether he scores goals or gets assists is another thing, but I can see him playing in the NHL. How many games is up for debate. He's still in his development phase. He's doing reasonably well in the OHL, the Canadian Hockey League system. He's still young. Something that goes in his favour is he's played against men when he was younger. When he was 15, 16 years old, he was playing in the Elite League and the EPIHL, which is now a defunct league here in the UK, against men, against seasoned veteran professional players. Okay, they're not necessarily the highest standard, but he was playing in a men's league and he was a teenager and he survived and he didn't have that many injuries or issues. Yes, he's a smaller player, but he's got soft hands. He's got a good passing game. He brings other players into play very, very well. And that goes in his favour that he's played against gnarly physical players and survived. Now, the American game is different. The rink surfaces are different. The ice surfaces are different. The speed of the game is different. There's a different style of physicality in the American game, North American game. But he's put the EIHL, the Elite League, on the map. North American scouts are now looking at the British League more than they were before. I think he can be a trailblazer for more British players to get drafted. With the success the national side's had, and he's part of that success, and with him getting drafted, that will hopefully lead to the talent level improving and more British players down the line in the next 5 or so years getting drafted by the NHL. Again, whether they play in the NHL or not is a different kettle of fish. But I believe his main ceiling will probably be ECHL, AHL level. I'm not being disrespectful to Liam Kirk in saying that. They're still decent level leagues, and they're still of a decent standard. I think it's now up to him how far he can go. It's how far he can push himself and develop himself, and it's all about how quickly he can pick up the North American style game. Because next year he probably will be in the national side playing in the World Championships, and he will be playing against NHL level opposition. So it's all about how he can adapt his game to the North American ice surface, about how he can adapt his game to the style of play in the North American League and in the Canadian League, which is a bit more physical than, say, the American style. But it's going to be interesting. He's another one of these European players coming over. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he adapts. But I can see him playing games in the NHL. Whether he becomes an NHL regular or not is another thing, and whether he can actually break into get regular ice time and regular games is completely another thing. I can see him playing the odd game as a call-up, but whether he can force his way into the NHL is another thing because his size is counting against him. He is on the smaller side of things. He's not a big lad, but he is quick and he's got very, very good soft hands and a good passing ability. And we've seen with the league getting younger and faster. And he did go later in the draft than expected as well. Anything could happen. He could. The sky is the limit. But I can definitely see him ending up in the ECHL and definitely the AHL. I can see him somewhere in there playing the majority of his professional career in North America should he decide to stay in North America long term, and if it does work out. But again, he's young and he's developing, and there's a lot of pressure put on these young prospects when they get drafted, and if they do get into the professional ranks at the highest level, to be good automatically, and some of them take a bit longer to develop than others. So that's something he's got to be aware of, is the media presence around him. But when he got drafted, it sent social media mad. It blew up Twitter. So it did create an interest in British ice hockey. And a lot of people were surprised at the amount of teams we have over here in the UK playing. And a lot of North Americans were surprised by the amount of fans we have for the NHL and ice hockey in this country. So there we go. That's what I've got to say. Place your thoughts below if you think he will make it into the NHL. Even if he plays one game or 100, it doesn't matter. He's made it at the elite level for me. It's so hard to get into the NHL. The amount of players that don't make it into the NHL that have solid careers at lower professional levels speaks for itself about how hard it is to get to the NHL level. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.